What's up guys, PhazonFlux here with another episode of Let's Play Pokémon FireRed. In the last episode we completed the Rock Tunnel, and in today's episode we will be skipping a couple unnecessary trainers that exist just outside the tunnel to ruin your day, and we will arrive in Lavender Town. Now this is perhaps one of the most iconic towns in the Pokemon universe, and you can tell from the music alone. I'm sure most of you have heard it at some point. And this is a very depressing town. It's all about ghosts and death. And I don't know. I don't really like this town that much. So coming in here, this guy will say Team Rocket will do anything for the sake of money. There is no job too dirty, too heinous, or too wicked. Yep, just a testament to how bad these Team Rocket guys are. Saw Cubone's mother trying to escape from Team Rocket. She was killed trying to get away. Yeah, it's pretty rough. So it seems like Team Rocket's in the area, as usual. This town is known as the gravesite of Pokemon. Memorial services are held in Pokemon Tower. That's odd, Mr. Fuji isn't here. Where'd he go? Is he important? This is really Mr. Fuji's house. He's really kind. He looks after abandoned and orphaned Pokemon. Finally, a light in this darkness. Way to go, dude. It's so warm. Pokemon are nice to hug. Oh, guapa. Guapa to you too, Psyduck. Guapa to you too. So then we have a mart, and there's really not much to this town other than Mr. Fuji's house and the dungeon of the area. Hello, hello, I'm the official name raider. So this guy will allow you to nickname your Pokemon, or re-nickname them if they are already nicknamed. So if you accidentally misspelled your nickname, you can fix it. There's horrible Rockets, they deserve no mercy. That poor Cubone's mother was killed trying to escape from them. Well, I wouldn't say they don't deserve any mercy. In fact, I would argue that they deserve more mercy because they've messed up so badly. But anyways, heading to the south, because I'll finish up Lavender Town real quick. I just want to show you how we've pretty much come full circle. Remember how we originally tried to get to Lavender Town through Route 12? Well, it's still blocked off from a Snorlax. But this chick here in the guard tower will give us TM27 Return. Now, the more a Pokemon loves you, the more damage that move will do. And friendliness is kind of a hidden stat, but you basically get it by having a Pokemon continuously be in the front of your party, having it not die, feeding it vitamins, stuff like that. So, ultimately, I'm not going to use it just yet, but I will use it on my Pokemon much later in the game when they actually love me more. Oh, my timing is so bad. Yeah, I guess I'll show this fight. There's not going to be much fighting in this episode, unfortunately, anyways. So I figure might as well leave this battle in to kind of keep things spiced up a little bit. Now, all these trainers here on this route are skippable as well. I'm just really bad at that. But they all give pretty good experience, especially for good old Xerath here since he's electric type. They all use water type Pokemon as they are all fishermen. Makes sense that they would use water type Pokemon. Alright, Xerath's almost got a level. Definitely will do it after this Goldeen goes down. Alright, cool. There's nothing to it, especially if you just have super effective moves like this. But I guess if you don't really have an answer to water types, this whole route is, or could be trouble. But I mean, at this point in the game, you've already defeated Misty, so obviously you already have an answer to water type Pokemon. So let's see if I can't avoid this trainer here. Alright, alright. I gotta avoid this one. Turn around, bud. Turn around. Do it. And what? He immediately turned back around to look at me, and I didn't hold the run button. Because normally, trainers that do that will face the direction in which you are running, so that if you try to run past them, they'll look at you. But I simply walked, and he literally just looked away and turned immediately back. So I call shenanigans on that guy. Touch too much. What does that mean? Alright, now here we actually have a hidden hyper potion, kind of here in the middle of this little island. Kind of showing you where it is exactly, because it can be hard to find. But yeah, hyper potion restores 200 HP, which is definitely a lot at this point in the game. And as you can see, again, we've come full circle, because this is the same Snorlax that we ran into earlier. So I'll meet you back in Lavender Town. Alright guys, here we are back in Lavender Town. I figured let's take a look at the one place that we haven't yet looked at in Lavender Town, and that's the Pokemon Tower. But first, this little girl asks, do we believe in ghosts? I do? Really? So there are believers. Now it's kind of funny, if you actually say no, she says, I guess not. That white hand on your shoulder. I'm just imagining it. Creepy. But, yeah, basically, we're visiting the Pokemon gravesite. So, it's gotta be really sad. I came to pray for my dearly departed Clefairy. I'm awash in tears. Poor dude. Did you come to pay respects? Bless your Pokemon-loving heart, son. Okay. Most country girl in a Pokemon game ever. My Growlithe, why did you die? Well, I mean, if he was old, I can understand it, but Pokemon Tower was erected in the memory of Pokemon that died. I am a channeler. There are spirits up to mischief. I sense them high in the tower. Alright, back away slowly. But coming at— oh, wait a second. Hey, Yois, what brings you here? Is your Pokemon dead? Hey, it's alive! I can at least make him faint. Let's go! Oh man, you jerk. Do you have any sense of respect for these departed Pokemon? I guess not. But I knew he'd start out with this Pidgeotto, as he always does, so the perfect counter to that is my Zerath. Now, an interesting fact is this rival battle is the first one where he starts actually mixing up his team depending on the starter that you chose. Obviously, his starter has always been different. It's always the one that's good against yours. However, he starts filling in his team with some Pokemon that cover his weaknesses. For example, this Gyarados here, he won't have if he has Squirtle, because that way he won't have two water types in his team. I'll go ahead and throw up on the screen right now what his team would be had you picked either Bulbasaur or Charmander. Another interesting thing to note is there's kind of a cute little theory, Pokemon theory, about why his team has changed. If you recalled, every time we fought the rival so far, he's had a Rattata in his team, and the last time we fought him on the SS Anne, he had it evolved into a Raticate. But this time around, and from here on out, he does not use Eradicate. And people have speculated that during the battle on the SS Anne, you actually kill his Raticate, and that's why he's here in the Pokemon Tower. The theory goes he's paying respects for his Raticate. I mean, it's a theory for a reason. There's no way of telling whether or not that's actually true. But I figured he would have a little more respect for a dead Pokemon if he was actually laying his Raticate to rest. And it also doesn't really make sense in the fact that if his Raticate died on the SS Anne, that's quite a journey away. That corpse has got to be stinking if he's come all the way over here to the Pokemon Tower to put it to rest. But I digress. This Execute, despite being unevolved, can actually be a pain. It is a Grass Psychic type Pokemon, and it loves using Hypnosis, as well as spamming the move Confusion, so that you are both asleep and confused. And I forgot. Grass actually straight up resists ground. And I am definitely in some trouble right now. Two of my Pokemon are asleep, so I'm going to have to start breaking out the Awakenings. I'm actually going to heal up Maokai because I think he has the better type advantage for this situation. And I'm just going to see how quick he does. Great. Corky's defenses are paper thin, as I keep mentioning, and a crit doesn't help either. Come on, dude, there's 3 of you. Odds are at least one of you will wake up. But those seeds are no bueno. I'm gonna have to swap Corky out because I can't let that execute get any more health back. Now Maokai's normal strategy is to go for Sleep Powder and then Leech Seed. However, neither of those moves work on Execute because it's a grass type Pokemon. Actually, I'm thinking of Pokemon X and Y. In X and Y, grass types are immune to powder moves. However, they work on them in this generation. So I should actually probably try my Sleep Powder. However, Leech Seed will not work. The whole concept of Execute bothers me too. Like, again, it's another one of those Pokemon in Gen 1 that's simply a bunch of the exact same Pokemon. And then the combined entity is considered a single species. I don't know, that just bothers me. Well, finally it goes down, and he's got another Psychic type Pokemon on the team. This Kadabra. Now, normally I would swap to Corky because Kadabra's physical defense is pretty pitiful, but seeing as how he's asleep, I'm gonna have to send in Zerath. Now, Kadabra's special defense isn't great, but it's also not bad. However, it's not enough to stand up to Zerath's Thunderbolt. And he's got his last Pokemon, Charmeleon, and I'm gonna go for the Paris move. I'm gonna throw out my Meowth to buy me a turn so that I can bring Corky back to the land of the living. I know it's a really cheap strategy, and I probably shouldn't do this because Meowth didn't do anything to deserve this treatment. However, I really don't want to give up one of my other 2 Pokemon. Gonna go for Dig. Hopefully it's enough to kill him. Considering Corky's physical attack is great, he's a ground type, and ground's super effective against Charmeleon, I don't have any doubts. Alright guys, that'll do it for the rival battle here at Pokemon Tower. But first, Corky gets a level. What, you stinker. I took it easy on you too. Well, that's your fault, buddy. I never asked for you to go easy. How's your Pokedex coming? I just caught a Cubone. I can't find the bigger Marowak. Where could they be? I bet there aren't any left. Well, I better get going. I've got a lot to accomplish. Unlike you. Smell you later. Yeah. Always a delight to be around you. Now, despite Pokemon Tower being the dungeon of this area, we cannot actually complete it at this point in time, so I see no point in actually trying. So I figure we'll come back and finish it later, but I wanted to go ahead and get the rival battle out of the way because, I don't know, that just seemed appropriate. So I'm going to heal up real quick and meet you here on the west exit of Lavender Town, where we can begin our journey through Route 8. However, it has recently come to my attention that this video is pretty much already over. I had intended to go ahead and start this route in full. However, that rival battle took a little bit longer than in my practice run because the execute gave me a lot more trouble than I had anticipated. So, as a result, I'm going to have to call it quits after this battle. One thing to note, however, is that you only need to fight one of these 2 trainers here at the start. If you'll notice, there was a lass and there was an old guy. Basically, I only need to fight one of them, as you can avoid the other once one of them goes down. I just opted to take down the lass here because she's got 2 Clefairies, which are really easy. The only thing you gotta watch out for is Sing. Wow, this is even easier than my practice run of this. But anyways guys, that'll just about do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a blessed day, and join me next time as we complete Route 8, I think it was. I really hope it's Route 8. Anyways, see ya then.